Step 19. Now, you've made your commitment, you've made your promise. How do you feel? If it's something that you want to talk about, if you want to share, please email me. My email is in the description box below. So let's talk about step 19. What are you willing to surrender to get closer to God, to receive God's blessings? What are you willing to give up to receive the bounty that God has promised you? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to surrender? That's what we have to think about. That's what we have to get a grips on. Because there may come a day, may come a time that God shares with you. Like God shared with me. That you have to leave. Everyone. There was only one that I could take. And at first I thought that was a different one. But now I see it's not. It's a special one. The one who also has the gift. So we have to think, what is it that we're willing to surrender? What is it that we're willing to give up? What is it that we're willing to say goodbye to? Whether that be for the rest of our time that we're here, fulfilling God's purpose, fulfilling God's mission, completing our path so that we can ascend. Or do we choose to stay where we're at, even though God has spoken to us, whether it was in a dream, a vision, a whisper, a coincidence? Even though God told us what we must do and we choose not to do it, then we're choosing to remain in that cycle. The cycle that we were broken free from, the cycle that we made it out of. It's like being rescued from being kidnapped for 20 years, being held hostage for 20 years, and we're finally rescued. We're finally set free. We're finally given all the jewels, the gold, the money, the house, the everything that we could possibly want. All we have to do is just go and live the rest of our life. But instead, we choose to go back to our captor. We choose to go back into the basement, go back into the cell, pull the door closed, put the chain around the door so it cannot be opened, and put the padlock in and close it ourselves. So if God has set you free, because you are going to be tested, new levels, always new devils, always, always, always. It's always another test. And then it's a test to see if you learn from the last test. If you learned from the last test, you're going to know that this test, you don't have to do nothing. You don't have to raise a finger because you know, because you've already continued to grow in your work and in your walk with God, that everything is going to be all right. This ain't even a valley. This ain't even a low. This is just still on the way to the ascension. You can always tell when you're getting close. You can always tell what you need to surrender to God because it's going to be the one thing that you think, well, I'm going to keep this until I get to this point and then I'm going to let it go. Or maybe I'll just keep this and keep that. Because something is going to happen to the one thing that you're thinking, well, I'll just keep this. Let's just say it's like a job. You have your full-time job and then you have a part-time job that's your thing, that your gift, whatever you produce, whatever your craft is, your skill. And you're starting to pick up some customers. You're starting to pick up business and you're like, I would really love to do this because I feel that this is my calling. I feel like this is my purpose. This is what I need to do. But I'm going to continue to work at this full time job until I get to the point where I feel like I'm stable, where I feel like, okay, I've paid this off, I've paid that off, I've done this, I've done that. But you can tell when you're getting closer. When you can tell when it's time for you to surrender that. Because the one job that you think I'm going to keep this until my own little side hustle starts to pick up is the one thing that's going to start, the people that's going to start acting funky. They're going to start trying to, for whatever reason, single you out, apply pressure. They're going to try to get you to bow to them, to make mistakes. Because Spirit will tell you in each and every situation, in each and every circumstance, baby, never let them see you sweat. Especially if you know that whatever you're doing, you are doing, and whatever you do in word and deed, do it in the name of God. So whatever you're doing, if as long as you know you're doing it in the word of God, you're not trying to hurt nobody. You're not trying to harm nobody. You're not trying to bamboozle nobody. You're not being mean. You're not being ignorant. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. Don't even worry about it. Because if you know you're not doing it, there's nothing they can do to you. All they can do is just spin their wheels and catch themselves. So let them catch themselves. So if it's something like that, that's a clue. That's an indication that you need to be willing to say, God, I surrender to you. And if it's not meant for me to work there, God, you are going to see me through. And whatever God has for you, trust me, honey, is for you because God is not ever going to place you in any type of situation that he don't already have it worked out of where else he's going to take you. Okay? Don't never let them see you sweat because the devil wants you to show fear. You might have a tear to come down because, it might be something that's upsetting to you, especially if you're an empath or if you've been taken off guard or something that you didn't expect. But as far as fear, just continue to look at them. Like, okay, anything else? What else? Okay, nope, no questions. Confirmation, confirmation. Because it throws them off. But that's just something that you can surrender, just as an example. So it's important that we get on our life path because you're going to find the miracles. You're going to see the miracles. You're going to feel the energy of spirit coming in and working on your life, covering you, covering you. It's time to surrender. Surrender it all because something better, spectacular, more amazing, something that's just for you is on the other side. Continue your path, continue your journey. I send you so much love, so much light, so much strength. If you need anything or you want to share, contact me. My email address is at the description box below. Thank you. And I'll see you in the next step. We're almost there.